Hello everyone, my name is Optimus Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers the Movie Studio Series, Constructicon, LongHaul, and Hook. Before we get into the figures themselves, we're going to take a look at the box. That was a bit loud. But yeah, here is the box. I'm going to move the camera a little bit so you can see this properly. So we have the box for LongHaul and Hook here. So as you can see, it says Transformers Studio Series. Then we have LongHaul and Hook. We have a picture of Devastator. I'm gonna move the camera back so you can see this properly. There's a picture of Devastator there. Some very nice artwork. And here we have the back of the box. There is that one scene from the movie when he's throwing, I think that's sludge. I don't remember who that is, but they're just throwing sludge down. And I think that's Snarl. I don't remember. But yeah, here's the obligatory product shots of LongHaul and Hook. And they're alt modes. We'll get into those later. But that's for the whole box, so we don't need that anymore. So yeah, getting into the figures. Here they are. First, we're just going to take a look at LongHaul. No, LongHaul? This is not LongHaul. This is Hook. Yeah, here we have Hook. He's very green. But first looks at him though, I do like the sculpting on the head. Very G1 accurate. All the red on the visor as well. The nice clean silver face. A itty bitty little Decepticon symbol right there. We have some silver details on the shins there. And they actually have pinwheels. He actually has pinwheels. But yeah, some nice sculpt work. Now, kind of doing a little side by side. Here's a little picture of Hook here. Editor, me, future me, put a picture of Hook. But yeah, he does look quite similar to his G1 counterpart. Except for, the obvious kind of like side cab hanging off the front, and it's because like, oh yeah, realism, these are actual, vehicles, but it has to be like G1 accurate, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's for Hook. Now we're going to look at LongHaul, because this is not Hook, this is LongHaul. I do like the red detailing on the upper thigh here. Yeah, the some purple dots here, kind of. And a lot of people, mentioned, oh yeah, he's got engine detail on the inside. Nice. They didn't have to do this kind of thing, but engine detail, very nice. He is very clean out of the two, I will say. LongHaul is definitely a lot more clean than Hook, for sure. Now there is one more thing we have to look at, and that is the kind of like combiner bundle kind of thingy here that, it forms like the thighs, part of like the combiner part for the legs. These are the hands, this is like the chest pieces, but it turns into this big old trailer here. So that's pretty neat. Now taking a look at their accessories, this is the gun that LongHaul comes with. So it's a little itty bitty little gun. It can split apart for some reason. So, but it is 5mm compatible. So, yeah, both of them are. So, yeah, it's cool. I do like the sculpting on the gun. Very nice. And here is the gun for Hook. It's just a plain black gun, but it gets the job done, and it has like a little scope on it. Magazine right there. That's pretty nice. Maybe the suppressor of sorts. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into articulation. So for articulation, we're gonna start off with LongHaul. So he does have a ball joint at the head, so it can move a little bit of waggle. So he can look down that far and then look up about that far. He can do a full 360, though some of the sculpting will kind of knock into one another. So yeah, the arms can kick out all the way, and they can do a full rotation all the way around. He does have a elbow, but it's a ball joint. The hands can also curl in, so he does get about a little bit over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. Does not have a waist hole, that is unfortunate, even though there's plenty of room like up in here where they can just put that there. But yeah, that kind of sucks though. But yeah, the legs can kick up about that far, and they can go back about that far. It does have a thigh rotation, and the legs can kick out about that far. It does have a knee bend in 2 different sections, so you can count this as a knee bend, or you can count this as knee bend, which I guess a lot more people use the upper one than this one, even though this one has some nice sculpt work though. Very nice. Then the heel can kind of move a bit, and he does have a pretty damn good ankle pivot. So yeah, LongHaul is very posable, so yeah, he's a pretty solid figure. Very chunky boy. He is very chunky. But yeah. Now, getting into Hook here for articulation, he does have a ball joint at the head. So he can look up about that far and down about that far. And he can do a full 360, but again, the sculpt, it gets in the way. To accommodate for the shoulders, you have to lift up these, if they want to flip up, to make the arm kick out all the way. Now you can use that secondary hinge and get even higher motion, but then you start having 86 hot rod shoulders, and yeah, we don't talk about them. But yeah, the arms, they can kick out about that far, accommodating that with a second hinge. The arms can't do a full rotation all the way around due to the back kibble, but they can get about that far, and they go back about that far. It does have a bicep tool, and it does have a double jointed elbow, which gets some nice range. The hands can also curl in, same thing for LongHaul. It does have a waist rotation, which again is annoying. The legs can kick out about that far, and they can kick out about that far. It does have a thigh rotation, and the legs can kick out that far as well. It does have a slight under 90-degree bend at the knee, and it does have a pretty good ankle pivot. I've seen some better, but he gets it done. So yeah, there is the articulation for Hook. And here is a kind of representation between LongHaul and his G1 counterpart. And future me will put a picture here for you to see. So getting into some size comparisons, here we have LongHaul with his brethren, Scavenger, aka one of the best of the Constructicons. But yeah. Here he is with Mixmaster. Here he is with Scrapper. Here he is with Bone Crusher. And here he is with 86 Optimus. And here he is with Hook. Now, getting into size comparisons for Hook. So, here he is with LongHaul. Can I get a size for those two? Here he is with Bone Crusher. Here he is with Scavenger, if he doesn't fall over. There he is with Scavenger. Here he is with Mixmaster. And here he is with 86 Optimus. So they do size pretty well for what they are. Now getting down to transformation for Hook. What we want to start with is untabbing the shins from the leg, and then you want to kind of combine or wars the leg inside of the shin and just tabbing the heel into that peg there. So you want to do that on the same side as well, and you want to combine or wars style the leg into itself. Sometimes it does want to work, sometimes it doesn't, and you want to combine them down the middle via the two tabs. And we're going to leave that as that for now. Next, you want to unfold those, and you want to accordion these inward, and there is a tab there which will go into there, like so. Make sure it lines up. Next, you want to make sure that the hands are kind of spread out a little bit, and you want to tab in the foot here onto there, and that will go into there, like so. And next, you want to untab this back section, and you want to move it until these two slots will line up with these two tabs on both sides. And finally, you want to flip those down, make sure everything is tabbed in. And there is Hook in his alt mode. A little bit of a crane. It's very nice though. I like it. Transformation is quite simple and not too much going on. I kind of do not like how it just relies on the top of the head to cover this up. Not a big fan of that. And I mean, it's not a bad alt mode. It does roll pretty nice with the pinwheels and all. So yeah. Now we're gonna get into the transformation of LongHaul. So what you want to do first is you want to combine the legs down the middle, and you want to flip in the heels into the feet. Next, you want to curl the hands in, and you want to disengage the tab, fold this down, and just line it up like so. So you want to do the same on the other side. Next, you want to take this and you want to rotate it, not rotate, but unpeg it from the chest, and you want to fold the head down as you're doing so, and then close that right up. Next, you want to take this section and you want to untab it, and then these two pegs will go into those two slots right there. And then you're just going to fold this down, like so. Next, take the arms and you want to fold them downwards, like that, and you want to take that piece and it's going to tab onto the purple bit there, like so. And now you just want to untab the legs there, and these two pegs here go onto these two pegs here. Come on. And there we have LongHaul in his alt mode. It's a little itty bitty dump truck. And I mean, technically it can kind of like dump if you unpeg this, but it kind of just starts looking odd. The wheels kind of like bend in and it kind of just flops. But technically he can still dump as a dump truck. And he does technically have a trailer, which is this hunk of thing. So if the pieces didn't fall off, because they're not too securely on there. So you want to attach the trailer by this, and it'll tab in between the little knees there. So you basically just want to untab that. You want to line up that trailer hitch like so, and it'll kind of like peg in, but it kind of poorly pegs in at the same time. But I mean, hey, he's got a trailer now, so that's pretty neat. I like it. It's not anything like eye-soaring or anything, but yeah, it's pretty good though. I like trailer. I like it. And it does easily just come off. So yeah. Now we're gonna get into vehicle mode size comparisons. So for size comparisons, here we have Mixmaster, here we have Hook, here we have Bone Crusher, here we have Scrapper, and here we have Scavenger. Now we're going to get these two into their combined mode. So first we're going to start off with LongHaul, and we're just going to kind of untransform him a little bit. So you want to start off by unpicking this, and then you just want to rotate it downwards, and you want to untab these hands, which sometimes they don't really like to untap. But next you want to just rotate it on that double hinge Next, you're going to take the arm and you're going to rotate it around, and that tab will go into that slot. So it's going to take a little bit of lining up. So next you want to do the other arm. So you want to rotate it all the way around, and you want to get that slot into that tab. Next you want to come to the other side, and you want to see this tab right here, and it's going to line up with that port, and you're going to tab it in there. Same on the other side. So you see that. Gotta tab it in there, yeah. Next, you want to just fully fold the legs like that, and you want to next take these two tabs will tab into here, and then it'll click, and then these two tabs will go into those two. So it'll kind of just all fold down right there. You want to take the heels. You want to make sure this part lines up into here. So you want to get that out, and you want to like so. Sorry. Yeah, there is LongHaul in his combined mode. Next, we're gonna come to Hook, and he's a little bit more complicated. So what I like to do is I like to take this off because it makes it a lot easier for me, but you can do it however you want to. So first you want to take both fists and you want to untab them and fold in the hands. Then next you want to grab the head and you want to kind of hinge it out like so. Next you want to untab both the sections. You want to kind of swing it all the way around until the two line up with that tab and that slot. It kind of takes a bit of finessing to kind of get it to rotate. Come on. Oh boy. Come on. There we go. Like so. There we go. Okay. Now everything's lined up. So yeah. Next you want to take that tab right there. That's going to line up with this peg here. And there is one also back here, and we'll go into there. So you want to line those tabs up. And it looks a little bit of a mess from the back, but and for the other hand you want to just tab it in right there. This one stays here because that's going to peg into the top of LongHaul. Next you just want to get the combiner ports out. This one is a little bit loose on my copy, so it kind of just swings out. And next for this side you want to just engage that and like so. Rotate around the head, and then you just want to hinge this part out, grab the face, and then it'll come right back down on the same two tabs that it folded out from. And there is the top half of Devastator, fully complete. Once you tab this in, of course. You can leave this extended, but I like to just compact it down. And there is the fully combined top half of Hook. But next you want to take, you can use like a carpenter's knife or just some type of like sharp object or something to get into here. And you want to just pry that part open, because this tab is not like to fold out when you try to get it, and it's really annoying. So I had to just use like something sharp to just engage that hinge so it can fold out. But there is a lot of connection points here, so I'm gonna run through this once. That will tab into here, this port will go into here, this tab will go into here, and then this tab will go over here, and then finally this tab will go into this square port. You didn't see that bottom part, but that tab is going to go into the foot here. So yeah, you just want to make sure you line everything up like so. You want to make sure you just tab everything in. It'll all just rest nicely on one another. And then next you want to grab the included trailer. And what you want to do first is just take all the pieces off. And then this will be a little bit loud, so fair warning to any headphone users or loud volume. So yeah, you just want to hinge this part out, and like so. Next, you want to untab the hip skirts, and then next you just want to rotate the legs all the way down on some very sturdy ratchets. What I like to do though, it helps standing up Devastator, is you want to go one click in, and then you want to go one click in on the knee joint, like so. That was not one click, that was two. And then you just want to fold down the hip skirts and then combine the port that will form that onto here, which I will show you now. So yeah, you want to take that big giant purple port and it will go right where LongHaul's face is. So you want to just kind of right down the middle. And then next, you want to take these two parts right here, which will go into these two spaces, and it'll kind of just fit right in there. And there you have the entire upper half of Devastator combined, except for the arms and the legs. For the final part though, is when you have everything combined, you want to just combine the chest piece together. But you basically want to do this when you have all of the figures. And it will look like that. Like so. Because these two tabs on each side will plug into Bone Crusher and Scavenger on either side. And it'll make it more secure so the arms don't like swing about or anything. But yeah, that has been my review for LongHaul and Hook. I did pick up mine from Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not sure if it's still in stock or anything. I'm sure it is, but yeah, I will leave a link in the description to where you can get your own if it is available. If it's not, it won't be in the description. But that has been it for me. And I know I've been on kind of a break, so I apologize. I've got a lot of things going on, and I've got a whole new setup and everything. But things will be kind of just messy for right now, so things we'll figure out soon. But this has been Optimus Prime, and I will see you in my next review. Peace out.